It's 11:55. As you can see, we got blue skies. I left Starbucks. I'm hiking out, but before I go, there's a place to give you a free slice of pizza if you're a hiker. I just left the place where you can get a free donut if you're a hiker. I skipped the place where you can get a free bagel if you're a hiker. And yeah, out here. If you recall earlier, I told you that it's, Verizon is pretty prevalent as far as brick and mortar buildings. And there you go. They're everywhere. So I got my free slice of pizza from Romanto's. It's not in the book, so just keep in mind that name. All right, thank you. As you can see, it turned out to be a beautiful day. I'll be getting up out this shirt soon. So now that I've drank and ate my way through Hanover, drinking meaning the coffee and eating is the obvious part. It's time to hit the trail, knock out 14 miles, call it a day. Of course I'm not doing 19. Yeah, I might do 19, but it's late right now. It's 12 o'clock, so we'll see out here. It's not hard to see why Hanover is one of my favorite towns, and New Hampshire is one of my favorite states. Because think about it, you just left the hardest state on the trail, Vermont, and you come right into this beautiful town where everything is free and they feed you. You really can't beat that. In 2005, when I came out the trail, they had a carnival right there waiting for you. So that was even more, of a shock to the senses. So, out here. It went from monsoon, where it was pouring down rain, to 90 degrees, or at least that's what it feels like. And it's wonderful. This is my kind of weather out here. I'm about to go back in the woods. This is the last stop before you go into town. You can't see the signs. I had to ask someone, but this is the co-op. It's basically a grocery store. You won't see a sign, but when you hit this gas station, you're going too far. And there's nothing in the gas station, so here you go, out here. All right, got me a freshly toasted bagel with butter, some Gatorade, some Starburst for the road, and two cassava buns, like the fresh bread, and I'll eat that with dinner tonight. I had the opportunity for Subway and all that, but sometimes I try to mix it up. And when it's hot, Subway does not travel well. You have to order the sandwich dry and do a whole lot of particulars, so I'm good. Back in the woods with me. I'm actually following a local right now because the trail is not marked. This right here, let me see. All right, that's the grocery store that I left. Then there's a gas station that goes across. You're gonna see a pole with a double blaze, and this is where you have to go, right alongside this ball field. See the poles? You're gonna go right alongside there, right from the street. Like I said, you won't see a blaze. And you're gonna come through here, and the first sign you see where the indication like, okay, I think I'm back on the trail is here. You will see a sign and stuff. So that blaze right there is the first blaze I've seen since I left the street. All right. Tell me this doesn't remind you of New York. I feel pregnant right now. I'm moving like pond water. I am stuffed out here. And looking back over the videos before I posted it, the last movie, I guess I should have said it. It just sticks out like a sore thumb. Betsy, whose trail name is short and sweet, did everything from wash clothes to cook to set the table to everything with one hand tied behind her back. Because as you can see, she was wearing a cast. I mean, I was just compelled to be like, hey, if you need something, I'm right here. I will sit at the kitchen table and do whatever I need to do so you can call on me whenever. That is a tough woman. My hat off to her. One-handed, she did all that out here. This first shelter, Velvet, is off the trail. But every time I go into a new state, I make a point of showing you the representation of their shelter. It lets you know what the people that are supporting the trail, how they feel about their state, their state pride. Okay, so I'm about to show you the first shelter in New Hampshire, and this is going to give me an understanding, not counting the huts. The huts are different. This is going to give me an understanding of what I have to expect and what kind of pride these people have in their state and in their section of the trail. I'll be there in a second. But understand, normally I would not go to this shelter because I'm not staying here. Out here. And out of the interest of full disclosure, I do have to use the privy, so it all works out. Dude, check this out. Talk about eco-friendly, high-tech. I am so impressed. Look at this. It's not a dungeon. It's aerated. Granted, I mean, you can't give them any demerits on the graffiti because it's so close to the road. But it's clean. It's nice. I'm impressed. Okay, so this is what we got to look forward to. And what do you think? You think New Hampshire got pride? I think so. Now where's the privy? Oh, wait a minute. There you go. Boom. Oh, by the way, this is checkpoint Alpha. I'm we'll just say I'm like 8 miles away from the shelter I'll be staying at tonight. And that'll be just a 14-mile day. And I know it's wussy, but dude, it's 1 o'clock. Actually, it's 1:15 out here. I am so mad right now. I mean, I came here, you know, to use the privy and whatnot. And I'm looking all around for it, and I couldn't find one. And so I just go off in the woods, and while I'm taking care of my business, I tell you what, those mosquitoes, I mean, they give you no respite, and there's nothing you can do. You're sitting there, you're vulnerable, and they just violate you. God. And so I come back, and I'm not even looking for it. And it's this orange sign just staring me right in the face saying privy. And I'm like, I don't believe this. Now I'm sitting here covered in welts in sensitive areas. And all I had, and it was right there in front of me. I didn't even have to look for it. But I did look. I don't understand it. Anyway, let this be a lesson to you. It's always a good idea to use the privy when they have it for a million reasons. But the best reason I can tell you is because, man, when mosquito season hits, they don't care, dude. I mean, at least when you're in the privy, you can block all that out. I'll take flies over mosquitoes. All right, because I tell you what, man, they won't give you a timeout, and there ain't nothing you can do but just take it out here. By the way, the word that I was looking for in that last episode was concierge. I don't know why I was saying Cartier, like Cartier lenses or something, like some kind of designer, but I don't know what I was thinking, but concierge out here. By the way, I've been using the same bottle of hand sanitizer since Georgia. I like it because it's the perfect size to go inside my pocket. Well, not Georgia, but I guess Damascus, to go inside this little hilt belt here. And since everybody carries hand sanitizer everywhere you go, what you do is you just keep it handy, and when you get to a town or a hiker's box, you just fill up your jar. You see what I'm saying? You don't have to keep buying it, because chances are you're not going to be able to buy the same shape and size, and you'll end up with too little or too much. So it just makes sense. I'm scratching my mosquito bites. So it just makes sense to keep it handy and just refill it out here. Just reminds me of New Hampshire. I mean, I'm in New Hampshire now. I think I'm in New York, right? Yeah, this is New Hampshire, man. It's just rocks and climbing, and it's so reminiscent of New York. I swear to God, it's like deja vu. Whew. Climbing mountains in New Hampshire is like climbing a natural ladder made by nature. To say that other states, they'll give you a switchback and they'll have you spend 2 hours climbing a mountain. New Hampshire will give it to you in 20 minutes straight up. Say, put your poles away, get on all fours, and kneel. And that's exactly what you do. It's hard, but it's over quickly. Out here. Isn't that beautiful? All rocks and no mud. Awesome. Money. Into the light. Bam! Where am I? Back in Jersey, right? How did I get back in Vermont? The point to all this random commentary is that, contrary to popular belief, the terrain is not going to change so drastically that you find yourself adrift. It's not like you're hiking on Mars and then jumping over the Venus and then Mercury and the Moon and Earth. It's not no different world at all. The trail can't hit you with nothing you haven't already seen. What it will do is just give you something in varying variety. Okay? New Hampshire is not some beast. I will say this. The whites are unlike anything you've ever seen before. It's like walking on the moon. You are above tree line. And you're just, even the rocks, the surface looks different. You no longer follow blazes, you follow cairns. And I showed you enough cairns. Cairns. Anyway, that's what's so unique about New Hampshire and why it was my favorite state, because it's a state of a whole lot of firsts, you know? All right. And as to Maine, Maine is everything. Maine is like, what makes Maine unique is the fact that you go up 4,000 feet, down 2, up 4,000 feet, down 2. Maine is like the Magic Mountain, the roller coaster, I forget the name of that biggest roller coaster. It's in, what is it, Ohio? It'll come to me later, but it's not that important. But that's what makes Maine so unique. The rising and the falling. Not to mention that Katahdin is the highest point. All right, out here. Almost home, 2.5 out here. I appreciate the art, but this really doesn't make any sense. It's like we're not cavemen, just spell it out. I mean, they doing all these dashes. I'm just looking for a blue blaze. I mean, you've already Pavlov trained me to find a blue blaze when I'm walking to the trail. There's no blue blaze. I have no idea where I am. It just so happens I see something over there. So my question is, why are they tripping? Just mark the tree and let me be on my way out here. Checkpoint Bravo. Out here. 14 miles done. I couldn't believe this privy, so I had to come down and get a closer look. I certainly don't recall anything like this in the past. Now, you may not know this, but New Hampshire's motto is live free or die. But I think that has something to do with some nudist credo or something, because look at this. This is their privy. Why put a roof up there? That's it. And it's so close to the trail and so close to the water. When you're going to get water, you're just flashing everybody out there. I could not believe this. I had to get a picture of it, or at least, you know, show some footage. So much for privacy in New Hampshire out here. I'm just saying to myself, how can I mean, look at this sign. Look at the artwork, the artistry. You would think they take more pride in making that privy. Have they no shame? I don't understand that. Out here. By the word, privy is derived from the word privacy or privacy, which means when you're going to relieve yourself, when the call of nature comes, you want privacy. So naturally, we just went on to call the word privy. So what part of that did they not get? I mean, just putting something out there for the whole world to see. There's no privacy there. Don't call it privy. Call it a loo. Call it something else, but don't call it a privy. Out here. All right, check this out. I want to share a story with you real quick. If you recall, when I went into the Hanover Inn, I told you that I talked to the concierge. And I asked them, so where's a good place to eat breakfast? And they said, oh yeah, you know, you want to go to Lou's, right? Do you recall? So I go into Lou's, straight to Lou's. I'm walking around inside the restaurant with my pack on, looking at menus, asking questions, okay? Talked to 2 different employees. And then after my last words inside was, do you have Wi-Fi? They said no, and they directed me to Starbucks. I was going to Starbucks anyway. So I go outside, and if you recall, I got footage of the little donut girl, you know. I even made a comment about it. She's, you know, having her wares and everything, and we make eye contact. I mean, I'm you know, getting some footage and whatnot. So I go down into Starbucks with my intention being, all right, I'm going to, you know, play on my computer for a while, mess with some videos, have a coffee or whatever, and then I'll go back to Lou's and I'll have breakfast. Okay, so while I'm in Starbucks setting up, I see some hikers and I'm like, hey, do you notice you guys go to Lou's? I mean, I'm praising Lou's and I haven't even been there. I'm just letting them know, hey, this is supposed to be a good place. And they're like, oh yeah, you know, we ate there yesterday. They really take care of hikers, you know, through hikers get a free donut. And I'm like, hold on, what? And then she's like, yeah, you know, if you hike the trail, they'll give you a donut of your choice, you know? And I'm like, is that right? Okay, so after I set my computer off, I'm like, hey, you know, you mind watching my stuff for a second? And I made a point to leave my bag. I got nothing to prove. I'm not going back there to get a free donut. I'm going back there for an explanation. Okay? Why my memory, you know, while I'm still fresh. If you ask me, I was the only black person in Hanover, so they couldn't have missed me. So I walked back over there, you know, and I passed the donut girl, and I'm like, do you remember me, the guy with the green pack? And she's like, yeah, I remember you. And I'm like, well, you know, hold on for a second. Now, you can't fault people for being curious, but so where was I? So I walk over to the donut girl and I'm like, yeah, you know, do you remember me, the guy with the green pack on? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, I was talking to some hikers in Starbucks and they said that through hikers are supposed to get a free donut. She's like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm kind of new. Do you want a donut? And da-da-da-da, you know, and so she's going off and she's getting a donut and everything. And I ain't stupid. I'm a hiker. I'll take it. But what I wanted to do was go inside and talk to the guy, because the guy was like, the employees. I mean, I was just, but then, while she was doing her explanation and all that, I thought about it, and the only reason why I let them off the hook inside the place, and don't get me wrong, I'm no police, I'm nothing like that, but I just don't like being slighted. All right, I mean, I'm black, first of all, so we look for it, and I mean, it's just the way it is. And on top of that, I'm a proud man, and I'm an Aries. You got all that. That's just too much fire. So at any rate, with her explanation, it could have been easily said that, oh yeah, she missed the boat, she made the oversight, it's her fault. You know what I'm saying? So I just took the donut and walked away. But they made it clear, because the two people that I was talking to were two girls, and they were saying how the guy was doting over them and like, almost using the donut line as like flirting, just like, hey, have a donut, da 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 da, like, he's just got it like that. So anyway, I let it go. But check this out. As you do recall, as I'm standing in line to get my coffee and all that, and that's when I decided to go ahead and get my little pastry or whatever, because I'm not going to give them my business. I mean, with that alone, that was the reason why I didn't go there. I felt that I got slighted by Luz, and I'm like, okay, Luz, I'm not going to give you my business. That's just who I am. I mean, period. But while I'm standing in line, you do recall, I'm getting my coffee and everything. I go to pay, and the guy's like, I got this. That was $13. That was more. That Starbucks was more than the order I was going to get, because they had a special that cost like $11.95 plus tax. So not only was it more than I was going to spend, but somebody else paid for it. And that just goes to show, see, that's how the Lord works. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know I was slighted, and the Lord still took care of me, so to speak. And this reminds me of a quote. The first time I read it was years ago, and I didn't understand it, but it says, even if you defeat me, you will not defeat me. And I read it a couple times. I'm like, that makes no sense. I turned the page. But life experience has taught me, I know exactly what that means now. It's almost like you have a champion. You have someone else to back you up when you can't do it. And I'm not using that as an explanation, because that can mean anything. That's why I like there's a kind of literature, and we'll call this kind of literature parables, okay, quotes and whatnot. It reads like an abstract painting looks, okay? It's an abstract painting for the left brain, for the logical people, And so me trying to define what that means is me trying to define what I see in an abstract picture. Anybody can see what they want in abstract art, but if it talks to you, if it hits a chord, and I'm starting to babble, and I apologize, but I understand it now. I understand what that term means, and it's so poignant, and it's so true, So anyway, that's why I didn't eat at Lou's, and I'm not going to badmouth them. I'm not going to tell you don't eat at Lou's. Everybody said it was great. Everybody in Hanover seems to think it's great, but I don't appreciate getting slighted. That's all there is to it. What I would tell you is, if you go in there and you're a minority, and now, I don't want to put that twist on there, but I can't help it. I'm sorry, I got to. So if you go in there and you're a minority, just demand it, like, hey, I'm a thru hiker. Let me get that. You know what I'm saying? Period. Just keep it straight. So you got no reason to feel jaded, and you can keep it as business as usual, And I'm gonna tell you one more thing. That's why I ask a lot of questions. You got to be a detective, because it's almost like they don't want. Well, I gotta say it. So, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but it's almost like they don't want you there, so they're not going to give you anything. They want to make sure you get nothing coming. So I always ask questions. I'm this, that, and the other, because I need to know when I'm missing out. You see what I'm saying? And that's so important. All right, it's bad enough we got to work harder, and but to not know when you're getting duped, that's even worse. So it's not a negative experience. I'm not saying this to vent. I'm not even mad, but I'm sharing it with you out here.